We're now going to be having a conversation with our friend Justin Lawman, our political correspondent from Canberra and commentator. But first things first, Justin, how is the state of your desk? Are you going to take hold of the World Desk Cleaning Day today, or your desk, is always nice and tidy?
Well, this is my first day back to the office. I'm sitting on the side of the road near Yass at the moment, driving into Canberra. My desk is really clean because I haven't been in my office, mate.
There you go. Or at least
I hope it's clean. I haven't seen it, so.
There we go. So, Justin, tell us a little bit about what's happening in the world. So there's a lot that has been going on since Friday.
You reckon?
Yeah. So there's Iran. There's this stuff going on in Iran. There is Renee Goods, which is it's a bit of a harrowing story. I think that everybody in the United States, at least, cannot stop but to talk about her. Even the President Trump has been talking about her. Then there's the Greenland conversations. Can you help us understand what's happening?
Well, I don't know if I can help you understand, but I can give you my perspective on some stuff. But
all right.
It's crazy. But which week do we have a quiet week where there's nothing happening?
It's rare, very rare.
It's really sped up. I guess the one that surprises me the most is Iran, our Persian brothers and sisters. Mm-hmm. There seems to be a full-on revolution happening there, but the populace who are trying to take back their country from the 1979 revolution, the Islamic revolution that happened there, and it's a theocracy to this day. Economically, it's a basket case, and they are not traveling well. And we are seeing limited footage, and we're hearing limited reports because the cell phone system was shut down. The internet's been shut down for 6 hours this time. They've done all this before, trying to prevent communication happening internally and probably communication getting out to the rest of the world. But the government forces seem to be fighting back against this, the populace rising up. Mm-hmm. And there seems to be quite a few deaths and killings happening. So we need to pray for that situation because the freedom to preach the gospel in that country has not existed for a long time. Yeah. And it would be great if there could be a window here where the people get real freedom. Absolutely. Real freedom. Absolutely. That would be a wonderful thing.
And there's a few documentaries. Actually, there's one documentary called Sheep Among Wolves where there are interviews with secret Christians in Iran, because Iran has even though Christianity is absolutely prohibited, you will get hanged in a public square in Tehran if they found out that you became a Christian from a Muslim background. But their underground churches is really thriving. They're actually sending missionaries to Israel to bring the gospel there. And one statistic that I have here, Justin, it's not a super new statistics, but it's not old. It's from the end of 2023. Do you know how many mosques there are in Iran in total?
Have no idea.
So in total in Iran, there's 75,000 mosques. Do you know how many have closed down? 50,000 of them.
Wow.
So 50,000 out of 75,000 mosques have already shut down because of lack of attendance. People they're just fed up with it. They don't want to go anymore. They don't want to have anything to do with it anymore.
You imagine if because we understand politics more than a theocracy here. It's never long that a governing power is popular. Like, it's very quick for the Prime Minister to be riding on a high, and next thing you know, everyone despises him. And they've had 47 years of rule over there. People have had enough, and they want their freedom. They want their freedom. So it's an important thing for the listeners to be praying about Iran and the freedoms that could come to the people of that. It's got such a history right through Scripture, Old Testament,
incredible
right
country.
through. Incredible.
Let's move on then to what would you like to talk about next? Ice raids, Renee Goods, or Greenland?
Let's go to the ice raids. And the tragedy that is Renee Goods, this 37-year-old mother I think she has 3 kids, and it's such a silly thing to be dying for in my mind. So if we step back from what's the immediate thing that's happened, during Biden's presidency, they estimate there's around 15 million, maybe more, maybe less, 15 million illegal immigrants come into the United States, which is a lot. Trump's immigration customs enforcement, which is where we get the ICE term, he has really empowered this guy with under Nomes, the leader of it there, to go in and particularly get the real criminal element of that group. But they're not exclusively just getting anyone that's involved in crimes. Anyone that came in illegally is open to be deported. And they're going right through the country, and they've turned up in the city of Minneapolis, Minnesota, this is where George Floyd was killed by a police officer that led to all these riots. This place is a hotbed for revolution and riots. Renee Goods has been part of a group that seemed to have been trained that are to block ICE as they go about their duties. And she's put her car in front of the ICE vehicles that are all unmarked, and the ICE agents are all got their faces covered because of the retribution that's happening to them and their families. So this is not good. So the police officer that in the end he was in front of the vehicle. There's heaps of different video footage angles. They've grabbed her door, told her to get out of the car. She's accelerated away while this other police officer was in the front of the vehicle. He shot and killed her. And that has led to enormous backlash against ICE. The governor of the state of Minnesota, who's in a lot of
herself, or was she
no, she's an American citizen. She's an Anglo lady who is an American citizen.
Wow.
Her wife, and I'm not going to unpack that anymore. Her wife was right beside the vehicle, egging her on, saying, "Drive, baby, drive." And she says that she got her involved in this anti-ICE movement. So the statement by the governor, I think, is one of the most disturbing things I've heard. The governor said after this that he is going to mobilize or could mobilize the National Guard against ICE.
Wow. Wow.
That's a civil war.
Yeah.
That's how close they are on all this stuff. This isn't going to stop. Trump's side aren't going to stop deporting people. They've put 2,000 more ICE officers in that city after this incident. So it's really on the edge.
It's a real powder keg.
Some of these, Yep. The blue states where they crazy thing found themselves in situation. Tragedy for Renee and her children that now her life's been taken over. I think this is silly. There's other ways to go about things than trying to block police doing their jobs, whether you agree or don't agree. Anyway.
Absolutely. Wow, that is a very sad story. And as you mentioned, it's already coming from an area that it's a hotbed for revolution and civil unrest in the United States. So let's wait and see. If things are going to calm down, or if that's going to be some more big national.
Well, this is the state where all the Somali immigrants have been involved in this $9 billion fraud thing that they're pursuing. Yep, and there's a lot going on.
Yeah,
and
that's also the state from where Tim Walz used to be the governor, wasn't he?
Well, he's still the governor, but he's not going to run again.
Is.
Yeah, he's not going to run again. but he's still a governor.
Also, he was the one challenging Trump and threatening to use the National Guard. The thing is, can the states
Correct.
do the states have the authority to mobilize the National Guard, or is that something just from that can only
They
be?
are the states run the National Guard. The Texas has its own National Guard. Minnesota, California, they all have their own National Guard because the federal government is not allowed to have troops
Okay. Inside of the
put
country.
out against their own citizens.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right.
It's America's very different in their mentality. Like this attempted revolution going on in Iran, the reason Americans want to keep their guns in the Constitution is so they can rise up against their own government.
Yeah.
So they have a different mentality to what the average does in the way we look at governments and how we would overturn a government.
Yeah. Wow. That is very interesting. And tell me, what do you think about this whole conversation about Greenland, that the United States is going to get Greenland the hard way or the easy way? What's going to happen there, and particularly with NATO, because Greenland is part of Denmark, which is part of NATO. So we would have one NATO country invading another NATO country if it's
the hard way.
If it's the hard way, so that would be.
I think Trump's he'll talk him around to some deal before he gets to the hard way. But don't underestimate the age in which we're living. He'll do it the hard way. The bigger question to me, I think Greenland's a done deal. I think he's going to get it. I don't know how, but he's going to get it because this Monroe Doctrine, where they want this hemispherical defense.
The Don Rowe Doctrine, they're calling it now.
Well, I tell you, Canada is a bigger question. Because after they've got Greenland, they've got Venezuela, they're going to do Colombia, they're going to do Cuba, in my opinion.
Oh, man.
Canada.
Oh,
because Trump said, if you got to listen to this guy. You just listen to what he says.
Yeah.
He says there's more fentanyl coming across the border from Canada than there is from Mexico at the moment. Like stuff like that. That's just not a statement made in jest. They've got a plan here. And that is the bit that really troubles me. How's Canada going to play out?
Yeah. And look, and back in the days, though, I think that the U.S. politics would accomplish these kinds of goals, but in a more covert way. So they put like some military bases there. But now is everything so much up in the front. Even I think the statement when President Trump says that we're getting the oil back from Venezuela and we're going to run it, we're going to invest it. Back in the day, the same thing would have happened in Iraq. But like George Bush, for example, he never mentioned oil any time. It was always about weapons of mass destruction and so on. When push comes to shove, it ended up being a lot about oil.
Yeah.
But at least it was not overtly so.
Whereas Donald Trump
says it now.
Yeah, exactly.
Domestically, I don't think the needle will be moved either way if they take Greenland. The Trump supporters will support it. The Trump enemies will not.
Yeah.
And I just don't see it's going to shift the needle domestically. So they just plow on.
Very good. And look, Justin, you mentioned here, you always mention how, when we're seeing what's happening with the United States, we clearly see why the United States is the last superpower from a Bible perspective in the book of Revelation. I do actually have a Bible study here about America in Bible prophecy. If you've never seen with your own eyes what the Bible has to say about the United States 2,000 years before it even became a nation, you can text me here with hashtag USA to 0491 064 669, and I'll send a Bible study about America in Bible prophecy straight to your inbox. So by the time that you listen to this show and when you listen to what's going on the news, you will be able to recognize that the time is being fulfilled, the prophecies are being fulfilled, and the time is near. Justin, thank you so much. What are you going to be talking about in your show this week?
Well, we covered Greenland and all that stuff in the Monroe Doctrine this last week. We'll be taking up some going to happen in the next couple of days. So
all right.
we can't make a decision
That's
on a
right.
Monday.
A lot of things can happen.
Out of date.
So
Yeah.
Friday, 4:30 p.m. here on Faith FM, you can listen.
Thanks for being a part of the Faith FM family. Join our community on Facebook or get in touch at 1-800-FAITH-FM.